Alright guys, welcome back. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys in this video how to play around NIBIRU. Because some of you are still a little bit confused of what I mean of how to play, just play around it, right? Okay, so like depending on the version you're more comfortable with, because there's a few builds that I've tried. You have the trap trick one where you play back row, and then you have the one that's just strikes and imperms and ash and Veiler, right? Or if you play the pendulum version, which is not as interactive, you play more more combo heavy, because it's more of a persistent deck. It's more persistent compared to stopping your opponent and then hoping to have the junk Doppel play, or just junk and level 2 play. But for the example, right, I'll use this one because it's just generically both builds have this. Okay, so what you have to do, ideally, right, you would have to do it this way, okay? Because you have this, right? Okay, so to play this, because this makes Herald under 5 summons. Okay, so let's say for example you have this pair. It's much easier to do it with this build because you play more of this guy, so there's more chances of you opening up level 2 and this. Whereas in the other build you have more chances of opening up this and Jet Synchron, because that's how you have. And then whereas the other build is it's a 1-up, right? But anyways, you just do this, right? Pitch, add your junk, and then you go summon, right? So you can either summon this right away, right? And then special your Doppel. Okay, special your Doppel. And then this makes your Herald. What the heck? Oh, here it is. Almost lost it. Oh. Makes your Herald, and then it gives you 2 tokens, right? I'll put this here. Better. And then you get 2 tokens. Okay, so they can't NIBIRU now because you just negate it with this, and then this makes your junk speeder, right? You get junk speeder, or you are. Okay, you get junk speeder, and then your effective junk speeder triggers, right? You summon your guys. The only issue is that you won't have a level 2 to summon, assuming you play in that build. But if you play in the pendulum build, then you can still summon level 2s, and you can climb up your clear wing. I mean your crystal wing. Okay, so then you summon. Right. That's the only drawback. But the fact that if you're playing this build, the one without the pendulums, then odds are you're playing more hand traps, more Veilers, more imperm. So odds are you opening up that already. So you'll just go you go charge, right? You go charge. Where are you? Where did I put it? Oh, it's up. Should be here somewhere. Here it is, charge. Okay. So you still end up with interaction. The only drawback is you won't draw into the more cards, right? Because you won't have a chance to get to Librarian. That's the only drawback. But still, it's a safe play, right? So you go 1, 2, right? You add your junk. Your junk servant, I mean, right? Add this. And then you just draw a random card, right? You just draw, it doesn't matter what you draw. Okay? And then you special. And then you can go into Dragster, right? Or you can where's Dragster? There you go. So you end on Spell Trap Negate, and then you draw 1, right? It's not as as crazy as you would have, but it's just safer play. It's just a safe play that you can you guarantee to do something. Whereas if you want to make sure that this sticks, right? You put it here, and instead of summoning this guy, you summon your Cyber Synchro, right? Yeah, you summon this guy, because this guy will protect them in grave, right? So if they try to run over to try to bypass the macro, because against Yugioh, against Salad, right? The graveyard is quite essential for them. So you just if they try to go battle phase, okay, it's fine. Then they just banish, just like a Balinx basically, and then save it, and then they have to run over 2 bodies, and then yeah. But then that's the point. That's what you wanted though. You wanted to be able to live to see another card the following turn. Okay. And then And then depending, because like seeing how many junks you have access to, you already have grave set up the following turn, because you can just bring back your converter, right? You can just bring back your converter, bring out your Doppel, right? And of course, if you have other cards in your hand, then you can just like extend like foolish 1-for-1 or whatever. But yeah, that's how you play around NIBIRU. And then the other way that most of you are, it's a bit tempting to just go all out, right? It's tempting to just go like, oh, I have jumped up, I gotta do the whole play. But sometimes, this is what I mean, like this is the other way to play around NIBIRU, right? So what you do is let's say you open up Doppel, right? And you open up these two, right? Because this is typically where you're gonna open it most of the time. Okay, so you pitch, right? You add this, okay? So you summon your junk synchron, and then you special your converter, right? And then this will make your, what the hell? Did I just pass it? Oh, it's over here. Your speeder. Okay, so another thing to note as well is that some of you are okay. So the reason why they can't ash you here is because you're forming a simultaneous link chain, right? Because you're turn player. You can choose when cards trigger at the same exact moment time, right? So you can choose what order you want it to. Before the grave effects would have to trigger before the field effects, but now it's like they've changed it. Like it's been a while since it's been like that. So what you do is you go chaining 1, chaining 2. So that means your opponent can only respond to the last thing in the chain. They can't respond to this because you chain block, right? So there's chaining 1, chaining 2. You can't cut in front of the chain and try to get him because you have to follow the game mechanics, right? So chaining 1, chaining 2. So they can only chain to this, right? Yeah. So then you chain 1, then you bring back your level 1, right? Because you see what I mean. Do you see why that's important? Okay, so then you trigger this, summoning your this guy. Just put him in the frame, and then just put it there, and then this guy, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so if they're not NIBIRUing you there, right, then that's fine, because you can either just go Crystal Wing right away in case they want to, like, you know, unless they don't see the Crystal Wing play. Well, odds are like a competent player will see that, okay, that's Crystal Wing. But sometimes they just maybe like, oh, maybe they'll hold it, but it's a similar situation as Appaloosa, where it's quite apparent if that's what they're going for, because they want to play on NIBIRU. Okay, so then if they don't have NIBIRU, right, then you just start climbing, right? You just go 1. I've been testing Brio over the charge, but like for the video, since you guys are more familiar with this guy, I'll use this guy. Okay. So you don't use the effect, because if you get NIBIRU, then you want to be able to use the effect and then trigger Doppel from hand, right? Okay. Oh, I'll show you that after. Okay. And then so you go ahead and draw 1, right? Doesn't matter what you draw. Doesn't matter. And then you just go here. And then now you're free. You're free from you're in the. You don't have to be scared of NIBIRU anymore. Okay. Summon this. And then this is what I mean why I like this guy, because this guy lets you summon a level 2 or lower from your hand. So then once you hit the Crystal Wing, okay, NIBIRU, that blocks NIBIRU, and then you special summon this. And then this is Librarian. Of course you get these tokens, of course. Librarian. And that's why you want to bring the level 1 back with the converter for this specific scenario. Then you just go Shaman, and then just start climbing from there, okay? And this is what I mean by, like, let's say you do get NIBIRU, right? Because that's majority of that's majority of the fear. NIBIRU. Once you get to speeder, resolution, anything, you're like, fuck. Okay, let's say you go speeder, right? Speeder summons your guys, summon this guy from deck, and then convert summon this guy. Okay. Okay, so then this is your hand, and let's set the NIBIRU here. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh shit, NIBIRU. Okay. Then you get like a NIBIRU token. Where's my NIBIRU token? Somewhere here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. The NIBIRU token, right? You gave the NIBIRU token. Doesn't matter the zone placement, right? And then since you opened up. This was your hand, right? So you have 2 more cards, right? You have 2 more cards. Okay, you have 2 more cards. So this is your hand, and you search for junk, right? So you have 2 more cards. It can be, it doesn't matter what it is. It can literally be anything. 2. Okay. So then what you do is you pitch for jet. Okay. Pitch for jet, special. Then trigger your double. Okay? And then this will make your metal marcher. Okay? And then you get your tokens. Right? And this will summon back a level 1, which would be one of the jets. Okay? And then this climbs. Into Shaman. Shaman will special summon up to as many level 2s as possible. So that'll be 1, 2, right? And then you can either go into Librarian with this, get tokens, right? Or you can go Librarian with this, and then get more draws off of the Librarian, right? So it really depends on what you're playing against. So that's how you determine whether you want to end up on an Excel play, and then ending like a Trish setup, or like trying to do a Koran Gandrak setup. You know what I mean? Like it makes a difference of what your opponent's playing, and then that's how you dictate what you want to go, what route you want to go. And another thing as well is that if you're playing, you can side the final Sigma. It's the what's it called? The math mech, the Synchro. So basically, all you do is if they give you a token, right, and you just pitch for jet, and Synchro for that guy, and it's like a big it's like an ultimate Falcon. It's unaffected by other card effects. Yeah, and some matchups it might be quite relevant because they will have no out to it. But like let's say this is what I mean by saving the Doppel in hand, because it gets you to this. And that's the whole point of it. That's how you can play around it. Because like of course, if you don't get to this, then you do the one before this, right? You just start synchro climbing, and then the floor will get it out of your hand. So you don't have to be scared like, oh, I can't trigger summon from grave. So that's what the floor is for. The floor summons from your hand. But yeah, that's basically how you play around that. Because this is very important type of thing. Like you always have to assume that they have Nibiru, and this is always a safer play to do. Because if you don't, you usually get punished, and that's how like I guess your point of view or your perspective on this deck will be like, oh my god, loses Nibiru. Well, of course, if you just go all out, but if you play it smart, you might get rewarded, and that's the whole purpose of being clever, right, with these type of decks. And then I'm still trying to figure it out, because we know the concept of what the deck is meant to do, right? Speeder and that, but the issue is the cards outside of this sequence, right? What can we add to it? That's the whole point. Like I've tried like the trap version, the pendulum to be persistent, to extend, and then I keep going back upon this guy because it's perfect. Like it's a level 2. I can revive with junk. Any extra ones, I just pitch it for junk converter, so it doesn't matter. And then like if I start, because it's so important that they don't ash this. So like if you go like this, right? Let's say you just pitch, right? You don't control anything. You don't have anything on field, right? You don't have anything, right? You use effects, and then they ash you. Then you just gamma, right? And then you just summon your guy, right? You just summon your guy, and then you just search your junk synchron. Like, where's the junk synchron? Here it is. Look at that. How crazy is that? And then that's 2 summons, right? 2 summons, and you summon this, right? You summon this, summon, special, right? And then this is your herald. Right? And then your converter triggers, it summons back a tuner, so you can break either one of these. So depending on what you want to do, you can go Omega, once again, Omega, right? Or you can just go Dragster, depending on the matchup. If it's like a spell heavy deck, you go Dragster, right? Or you can just go like, yeah, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, if you have Doppel still, like, makes it even better. But yeah, I keep going forward, but like sometimes like it's like The only dilemma you're in is like, if this resolves, right? If this resolves, this becomes redundant because the whole point is to make sure that it triggers off of this interaction. But if they don't interact with this, it's like, damn, this game was dead. Like, can't do anything because once you resolve Speeder, it's not gonna have. It doesn't help against NIBIRU. It doesn't help. It literally does nothing. It does nothing. You can't play Lambda because if you're playing a Link, you might as well play Brax. But yeah, I don't know, man. And I keep going back and forth on the Dark Orb engine. Just like going back and forth. The reason why I like this and this is because it lets you go like have just another body. Like you need a constant. You need a constant like way to get a body on board that is not just your normal summon. And that's like what the deck's issue is at the moment. So like let's say you go Shrine, send this effect, right? And this summons from graveyard. You trigger this, right? And you haven't summoned yet, right? So like, what can you do with this? You know, like what can you do? What are the possibilities with this, right? Because it's still 2 cards, right? It's still 2 cards, accompanied by potentially the 3 cards you might want to have, which would be 1, 2, and then one other one, right? Whether it be, would you want it to be an Ash? Would you want it to be an interaction? Would you want, you know, like it's the matter of what do you want it to be? Because like, yeah, it's just that's the trick, right? That's the trick. Yeah, I don't know. It's still theory, right? It's still theory. And I'm really trying to work out like, cause like you need something to get rid of the bodies. Like you need like an equalizer, right? To make sure that you live. Cause like what I mean, like when you have a bunch of interactions, right? Let's say you go, you Ash, right? You Imperm, and like where's the Raiders? I'm still working on this deck. Okay, so hopefully it'll be up soon. Where's Raiders? The hell did they go? What the hell? Did I lose them or something? The hell did my Raiders go? They should be somewhere here. Did I pass them or something? Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah. So you stop them, right? But then this doesn't destroy the monsters, so the pressure is still there. Like they're still gonna beat you down. So like I was thinking of playing the cards like Dinomiscus, right? Because like it's a level 2 material. If you use a trap, like if you use Imperm, revive it, right? Revive it from grave, or just like it just gives you like an option to just like be conservative, just set and pass. And then like you don't really care about all the sequencing that's going on. All you want to make sure is that you either prevent an interaction that will hinder you the following turn, or just basically like outright stop an OTK, and that's all you need, right? Because you'll be like, okay, discard like, because right now I'm trying to Cobalt, right? I'm trying to Cobalt again. Discard Cobalt, pop, right? And then let's say you have like you top like this, right? Top like this, and then like you go, or you have it already, doesn't matter, you know? So you go activate. Target the last thing that they might have established, and then you chain this, right? And then you probably potentially have like a Doppel in hand, trigger Doppel, and then you haven't used your normal summon, right? So then you can just like you like have the comfort of like, doesn't matter if your Junk Synchro gets interacted with, right? Because like, okay, summon, right, effect, if the Impermanent doesn't matter, if the Veiler doesn't matter. You know, like it just, the fact that you have that as an option was what I'm considering. You special, and then look at that. That's crazy. Like, you know, it's crazy. That's a bit. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was helpful. And thanks for watching.